Hello! Today I'm going to be showing you how to play all the lead guitar parts from the Oasis classic Slide Away. Now, I actually promised this video to someone months and months ago. I remember making a comment saying the next video is going to be on Slide Away. But shortly after saying that, I discovered that along with Wonderwall, Slide Away is one of the few Oasis songs that is completely blocked on YouTube. Meaning that you can't use the original recording in any way, shape or form, or your video gets blocked. And so, that being the case, my plans to do a feature video on all the lead guitar parts of Slide Away were slightly scuppered, until I had an idea. And that idea came after hearing the Whitfield Street Sessions, which is a bootleg of previous mixes of the songs from Definitely Maybe that never got officially released. And on that bootleg is Slide Away. And on that mix you can hear the song before it was very sped. You can hear all the guitar parts turned right up. You can hear backing vocal tracks that never made it into the final mix. And so, now having the Whitfield Street Sessions bootleg as a resource, I decided I could finally do Slide Away. But it was no small job. I had to rebuild the entire song from the ground up. I started off by rebuilding Tony McCarroll's drum part, and it was very, very interesting doing so, because though I love his groove, I love the rhythms he chose for this song, I love his drum tone, his well-documented timing issues, however, were very, very apparent when I worked through the song with a metronome. Slide Away, after Owen Morris used vari-speed on it, starts out at about 94 BPM. However, by the end of the song, it's running at 98. Tony McCarroll has gained an entire 4 BPM over the course of the song. Tony, unfortunately, speeds up and slows down constantly throughout the song. Generally speaking, I'm not a huge fan of using clicks if you don't have to. And on the outro, where Tony McCarroll just speeds up and speeds up and speeds up, it actually contributes something to the song. While I didn't like the speed-ups in the body of the song, the acceleration of the tempo in the outro I actually liked, so I kept it. So it was a bit of a faff to do it, but I have replicated almost exactly Tony McCarroll's speed-ups in the outro. Next, I laid down the bass guitar. Now, the bass track is clearly played by Noel. It's too rhythmic and too locked into the groove to have been Gwigsy at this time. And I think Noel openly says in various places that he played all the bass guitar tracks on Definitely Maybe. Again, I was really aided in figuring out Noel's bass part here by the Whitfield Street Sessions, where the bass is turned right up.
Oh, let me be the one who shines with you and we can slide away.
Now, when it comes to the vocals, I have sung the vocals Liam style, but as usual, I've not done an impersonation of Liam. I've kept my own accent, I've kept my own voice, but I've sung it Liam style with the Liam belt, with a controlled bellow, as a friend of the channel John Carver puts it. I sang through and recorded the whole song, start to finish, Liam style, 6 times, and by the end my voice was like Marge Simpson. I could barely speak. This style of singing is not for the faint-hearted. And I will also say on the vocals, please don't judge my singing comparatively to Liam's on this song. I make no pretense whatsoever to being anywhere near as good as probably the greatest rock and roll singer of the 90s, singing what many people think is his best ever performance. This rebuild was not about the vocals, it was about the lead guitar parts, and when it comes to them, I do think I've cracked them very, very accurately. Using the Whitfield Street Sessions and Definitely Maybe, I have managed to piece together the complete lead guitar part being played by Noel from start to finish of this song. And throughout the song you can hear various parts going on. Some of them are really clear and exposed in the mix, but many of them are just completely buried by Owen Morris. So while I have rebuilt the whole song from the ground up, in this version I've turned the lead guitar up so you can hear those parts that previously were just too buried to be much more than texture. But why were Noel's lead guitar parts so low in the final mix? The honest answer is they needed to be to save the album. Owen Morris, the man who produced the final classic version of Definitely Maybe, was the third person to attempt to get the album right, and at this point the record company were desperate and they gave him free rein. And he knew that to get the sound right on this album he had to turn Noel down and Bonehead up. In fact, there is no one more important to the sound of Oasis on Definitely Maybe than Bonehead. And when you listen to the Whitfield Street Sessions, you realise Owen Morris made the right decision. Even on those demos, even with Liam's brilliant singing, it's still missing something. And as soon as you push Bonehead up in the mix and push the mix up and put the compressor on, suddenly the magic happens. Now the other cool thing I've been able to do on this rebuild of the song is I've been able to do the complete outro in its entirety without the fade out that happens on Definitely Maybe. On the Whitfield Street Sessions you can hear the complete recording to where the band actually finish, where the band ends, and Bonehead even hits a wrong chord at the end, and I've kept that in as well. But I do understand why Owen Morris chose to fade the song out where he did. He fades it out so that the absolute crescendo, the absolute top point of the outro is the end. So it gets right up to the highest point and then finishes. When you listen to this version, you'll hear that it kind of does this. It goes highest point and then kind of tails off and goes flare and kind of finishes. So I think Owen Morris did make the right decision there, but just for historical interest and just for the interest of seeing the guitar parts, I've kept the complete outro entirely intact in this version. Apart from the fact that it's just me doing all the instruments and the singing, there are a couple of other differences between this rebuild and the original. One major difference is that I've kept Noel's backing vocals in on the bridges in the Slide In Baby Together We'll Fly section. Myself and probably many other sharp-eared listeners, when they got hold of the 2014 remasters, listened to it and went, hang on, where's Noel's backing vocals gone? And that was a big difference between the original Definitely Maybe mixes by Owen Morris in '94 and the remasters in 2014. And if you were to go on Spotify right now and listen to the version of Slide Away on Definitely Maybe, you'll hear those backing vocals have been removed. The version that's on Spotify right now is the new, less good in my opinion, version. And that warm, tight, big, rich mix that Owen Morris did in '94 on the original Definitely Maybe, for me, remains the definitive one, especially for Slide Away. And the other major difference between the Definitely Maybe version of this song and my rebuild is I have rebuilt this in standard tuning. The Definitely Maybe version was sped up by Owen Morris using Varispeed, and so the pitch went up so you couldn't play along without retuning your guitar to some bizarre setting. On this version, if you want to learn these lead guitar parts, you can do so without any irritating retuning. The full tab for all these lead guitar parts is available on my website, along with two versions of the song. One is the version in this video, which is a lead guitar mix where all the guitar has been pushed up in the mix so you can hear every part that Noel played. And the second one is a replica mix, which I've tried to get as close as I can without spending stupid amounts of time to the original Definitely Maybe version. Feel free to download these, but please remember, this is for educational purposes only. This is for you to learn the lead guitar parts to this song. Please don't use these things commercially. I don't own the copyright to these songs, obviously. This is just for educational purposes only. And with that said, here we go. A complete rebuild of the song Slide Away from the ground up with the lead guitar turned up.